Hi guys, here we go. This is Talkabout Thursday and this is day 238 of 365 days of action. So this is part 2. Just get a brew started. And where we left off from last week. So last week my wife and I were still sat in the office speaking to the nurse after finding out about the tumour in the bowel. I got a tumour in the bowel. And we were left with the nurse to ask any questions that we needed. She was going to tell us the next stages. So the next stages were, I had to have another endoscopy, so another camera down the throat. I also had to have another biopsy in the near future. And also I got to meet the team, or one of the consultants from Salisbury, and speak to him about what's going to be happening next. And the nurse gave us a little base through and a run of what's going to happen. So I'm going to have to be coming for some more blood tests in 2 days' time. And so they can take results from there and see now what the anemia is doing and how the blood count's going. On the way back, we got in the car. Not a lot was said. We were trying to just process ourselves what was going on. Just in so much shock. I think I was definitely in shock, and I wasn't my cheeky little self making stupid jokes. It was quite a very quiet journey on the way home. When we got home, had a little chat and says, "You okay? Do you want something to eat?" and that sort of thing. What time are the boys home? What time's tea? On that, I said, "I'm just gonna nip out." So I'm just gonna get out. Got my kit on and went for a run and just got outside really. And once I was out on the plane, which obviously I'm on the plane now, it suddenly thought, you know what, shit. What is going on? What am I gonna do? I want to grow up. I want to see the boys, what their lives are doing, what they're going to do. I want to be with Juliet. You know, I was thinking that was it. This is over. That's it for me. I've finished. I ain't got nothing's left. I'm not going to see the boys grow up. I'm not going to be able to go for a walk. I'm not going to be able to run. I'm not going to be able to train. I know that was a selfish point of view thinking. It was just so many things running through my head. And I was running. I was stopping. I was like choking up a little bit and just thinking, what do I do? But pulled myself together at that second and just got back home, had a chat with Julia and said how I felt and what she felt, and she just says, "You have got to pull yourself together. You don't even know the proper results yet." And it was just like a kick that I needed straight away. I know I'm making her sound pretty harsh. She is a solid lady, believe me. And if it wasn't for her, I swear I wouldn't be as fit as I'm trying to get now, definitely, and for the consultants. So we waited for the blood tests. Went for the blood test, had some more blood tests. It was really quite sharp. It felt like the next day they were phoning me, right, you need to come into the hospital. We got your results back straight away. So I was thinking, oh my God, they're still very, very low, really looking low. So then I spoke to the consultant in Salisbury, and he said, right, this is what's going to happen, Joe. You're going to have to come in for a blood transfusion tomorrow, which was like a couple of days after when I was seeing him. So this is it. Okay, right, that involves blood transfusion. I was seeing it on the telly. I didn't really know a lot of what was going on. I started to go downhill a little bit, feeling really, really tired. And he was saying, "You really shouldn't. What have you done today?" And I said, "I've been training, I've been doing this, I've been doing that." And he says, "You really shouldn't be standing upright, really, with those counts of blood." And I was just thinking, it's probably because I wasn't thinking about it. I was just getting on with it. And then as it came in, the transfusion, the day of the transfusion, Juliet was bringing me like that. And I felt literally like I was just going downhill. It's not meant to be a sob story, by the way. It's just how I felt. The colour was draining out of me. I think it was more of the fear of going to hospital, realistically. But when I got in, they said Juliet asked the nurses, "How long is he going to be?" She said, "It's going to be about 2 hours." And she said, "Okay, I'll wait." And the nurse said, "Actually, no. It's 2 hours per bag of blood, and he's got 3 to have. So in about 6 hours' time, we'll phone you, Juliet, to let you know." So Juliet waited me while I had the transfusion. So I was having the needle put in, and then poor nurse that was doing it, there was no veins to look at. They'd all ran away in fear, I'm sure. I was looking pretty grey, pretty weak at the time. Anyway, popped it in and got it sorted. Juliet went off. Started after a couple of hours, 3 hours went by. I was feeling really, and then it started to pick up. It was like, wow, I could feel some oxygen going around my body. Started to pick up really, really, really quickly. And then after the 3rd bag, I was like, right, I'm ready. I want to go training. I want to get on. I had a really good think. In that time, I was reading a few books, and I really had thinking to myself what I'm going to do, what I want to do. So the bucket list came out and things like that. These things do happen, and you're thinking about your bucket list, all the things you haven't achieved yet, to achieve, I want to help people, I want to do things. You know, all these things go through your head. So Juliet came and picked me up. She was quite shocked. And I was speaking to Juliet on the way. She was like, honestly, I thought you weren't coming out of hospital today. That was it for you. You're going to be in it for a few weeks. And then it's completely different. So went back. Before I left, they said also, by the way, you're going to have to come in for some iron to be put in your system as well. I said, oh, we're going to be stuck in another 6 hours. I know it's not the sort of thing, and a selfish thing, because I was getting bored quite a lot. So anyway, come in and had this, and oh my God, Juliet dropped me off, and I was moping and sad for myself, thinking that, picked myself up. When this stuff was going in, it was an orangey glucose, so I could describe it. It's like iron brew to look at. And when this stuff went in me, oh my God, they couldn't wait to get rid of me out of that hospital. I was so hyper and bouncing off the walls. The minute I got in, Juliet went, oh my God, you look like you got a suntan. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing, I felt. And clearly, as soon as I got home, I ran and trained. It's probably the best training session I'd had for months and months and months. It felt fantastic. And it lasted for quite a while, and it kept me going. So then we went in to see the consultant, and they followed through the next stages of what was going to happen. So they said, right, you've got to have a CT scan, and then we're going to get the results, and then you're going to be coming underneath Southampton General then in the cancer team, C3, down in the ward down there. These guys are fantastic. The information I forgot to mention was the nurses did give us about Macmillan cancer and cancer research and all these leaflets about, so you can always go and speak to somebody. And I think it's really, really important. I'm a really supportive family and friends and help. But having that bond and actually speaking to people does really help. And also the other thing is that word is so scary. Oh my God, cancer, that's it, your life's over. I know in a lot of circumstances things are, but many times your head can really, really help you if you've got strong will and a strong mind. You just need to have that help, and you're going to just push forward. Get fitter. And it's really, really going to help. It definitely helps me. That's my way of dealing with this. So I'm going to leave it there. So we're on our way to Southampton now, Southampton General, to meet the people from there and find out where we're going, and going to have a SAN. One of my first CT scans, one of my first of many of CT and PET scans. My cat was boiled, so I'm going to get my tea bag and get on it and have my brew. So we're going to stop there, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. Is part 2. You can find out all the information you need to find out is on oldboystraining.com. It's also on YouTube, so it's going to follow through on each one, running through all the 10 weeks. Have a look, guys, see what you think, let me know. Any questions, anything I can help you with, please don't be afraid to go and get sorted if you've got any issues whatsoever, and talk to people. It really does help. Don't shy away from that fact. Have a great day, everyone. Keep pushing, and don't ever give up.